Hello everyone, welcome to English Camp. This is Shivashish Taj. Today I have come up with the poem Father to Son by Elizabeth Jennings, and it's there for the students of class 11 for both CBSE and Assam board. So before we start, please hit the like button, and if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe to it, and if you are watching this in my Facebook page, do hit the like button and also follow the page. So the current poem, Father to Son, it was composed by Elizabeth Jennings, who is an English poet. She was born in England in the year 1926 and she passed away in 2001. In most of her works, she describes and deals with those personal human affairs and relationships which are very intense, and she presents those in a very plain and realistic way. Similarly, in the poem Father to Son, she describes the relationship of a father and a son, and how the father feels when his son begins to grow up and gets detached to him gradually. The father wants to have the same relationship as he used to have once upon a time with his son, but that relationship is no longer there, as there is a constant generation gap between a father and his son. It's a very common thing because as we grow up, we tend to build our own world. We tend to present ourselves in a new world, and we slowly and surely we get detached from our parents, especially from our father. We sometimes feel such things which we could not share with our parents, especially with our father, and we feel that whenever he says something to us, that thing seems to bother us. We feel that we have many things to express, we have many things to say, but our father doesn't understand those things, and we tend to feel that he will no longer understand us, and thus our bond gets detached gradually, but it creates a big void in our life. So this poem is presented from the point of view of a father whose son has grown up and he has got detached from his father, and how the father laments, how he feels bad about that situation. So without wasting any time, let's move on to the poem. So the first stanza begins, I do not understand this child, though we have lived together now in the same house for years. I know nothing of him, so try to build up a relationship from how he was when small. The very first line of the poem starts, I don't understand this child. Means the father is complaining that he no longer understands his son. Here the word child is used because for parents, no matter how big their children grow up, those children will always remain to be children. So the father says that I do not understand this child, means I am no longer able to understand what's going on in his mind, what's going on in the mind of my son. I am not able to understand that thing, though we have lived together now in the same house for years. Father says that I have been living with my son for many years in this house. We have shared so many moments together. Still, now as he has grown up, I am not able to understand what's going on in his mind, what's going on in his life. I am not able to understand that thing. I know nothing of him. And the father says in a tone of resignation, he even gives up. He says that I know nothing of him, means I am not able to understand my son even a little bit. So try to build up a relationship from how he was when small. So the father wants and he tries to build up the relationship again with his son, means the relationship, the bond that they used to share when his son was very little, he wants to bring about that relationship again. Means whenever we tend to grow up, whenever we are growing up, we knowingly or unknowingly we get detached from our parents, especially from our fathers. The sons, they feel that they want to live an independent life. They feel that their fathers might be creating some sort of hindrance. Their father might be creating some sort of obstacle in their life. So they want to break the shackles. They want to come out of that bondage, and they want to live a free life. But in doing so, they somehow neglect their parents. They somehow hurt their parents, and the father feels that I wish I could have that son back again in my life, which he used to be when he was a little boy. Similarly, the father here also says that I wish and I will try to bring about and to build that relationship, same relationship which I used to share with my son when he was a little child. Yet have I killed the seed I spent, or sown it where the land is his and none of mine. Here again the father says that he compares his son with a seed. He says that I have planted a seed, means he wants to tell about his son. He says that he had planted a seed. Here seed refers to his son. Like a farmer plants a seed, he waters it, he takes care of it, and when out of that seed gradually plants grow out and it takes the shape of a tree, that farmer feels proud because he knows that he has done all the hard work to bring up that seed and give it the form of a tree. Similarly, the father says that my son is also like a seed. I have planted it, I have taken care of it, and today he has grown up into a big tree. But now a doubt creeps in his mind, because as that seed has grown into a tree, as his son has grown big, that son, that tree is no longer following the footsteps of his father. Now the father asks to himself that whether I have planted the seed, but I have planted it not in my own land. I have planted it in someone else's land. That is why that plant is not mine. Means it shows the emotions of that father, that he feels that I have taken care of my son, I have brought him up, but now he no longer listens to me. Every father wants that his son will follow his own ideals. His son will be like him only. Every father wants that. But here the father, he laments the fact that he has invested so much of his time and energy under his son, but now his son is no longer his own. So he says that, yet have I killed the seed I spent, or sown it where the land is his and none of mine. He says that have I killed that seed, or probably I have sown that seed, probably I have put that seed under that soil, but that soil is no longer mine. I think that I have planted it somewhere else and that soil is not mine. Means he wants to say that his son is not following his own ideals. We speak like strangers, there is no sign of understanding in the air. This child is built to my design, yet what he loves I cannot share. Here the father brings about a very important and sad point, that we speak like strangers. Sometimes it happens that our close ones, we get so much detached from them that we speak, but we speak like strangers. We no longer share the same warmth, we no longer share the same bond that we used to have once upon a time. So the father also says that his son speaks to him. Yes, they both of them, they talk to each other, but they talk like strangers. They behave in such a way as if they don't know each other. They are strangers. There's no sign of understanding in the air. It generally happens when sons grow older. Sometimes it's seen that there is a lack of understanding with their parents, especially with father. Father might say something, he might say that in our times we used to do this thing in certain way, but the son would say that no, in your times you used to do that thing in your own way, but in modern times we would do it in another way. For example, a father might say that, tell his son that this hairstyle doesn't suit you, you shouldn't be cutting your hair like this. But the son might say that no, you don't know, in your generation you used to have such and such hairstyle, but in our generation we have this hairstyle. So there might be a difference in opinion between the father and his son. This is known as generation gap. So here again the father says that there is no sign of understanding in the air. They keep on quarreling about petty issues. There is no sign of understanding between the father and the son. The child is built to my design. Here the father says that the child is built to my design, means that his son resembles him. Means it's quite natural. The son will definitely look like his father to a certain extent. So he says that the child is built to my design, means he resembles me, yet what he loves I cannot share. Still, though he looks like me, we don't share the same likes and dislikes. Yes, he might resemble me, but what he loves I cannot share. His likes and dislikes don't match with mine. So we have a particular difference in opinion, difference in choices. That is what makes a gap. That is what creates a gulf between us, and that is why we are gradually getting detached from each other. In the next stanza he says, silence surrounds us. So silence is a very dangerous thing, because sometimes silence is very peaceful, but when it comes between two people, that silence is deadly. It's a sign of misunderstanding, it's a sign of cold relationship. So similarly the father says that there is silence surrounding us, means whenever I am sitting with my son, whenever we two, both of us are together, there's a silence. We don't talk to each other, or we don't share a very good bond. I would have him prodigal, returning to his father's house, the home he knew, rather than see him make and move his world. Now he says that I would have him prodigal. Here prodigal means someone who spends a lot, who doesn't save enough money and he likes to spend. So his father says that I would have my son as prodigal also. Means he would even allow his son to spend much money. He would even allow that, returning to his father's home, provided his son returns to his home, that is his father's home. Means he wants to say that I would allow my son to spend much money, I would never ever stop him from doing so, but I would want my son to come back. Means this comeback means I would want my son, that son whom I knew, that son with whom I shared a special bond when he was young, I want that son of mine to come back to me, and if he does so, I would allow him to spend as much money as he wants. The home he knew, rather than see him make and move his world. The father says that I don't want my son to go away and build his own world. Every father wants that when his son grows, he should stay with his father. His father won't like if his son goes away from him and builds his own world. So here also in the poem the father says that I just want my son to come back to me. I don't want him to go and build a world of his own where he would be very much independent and he would forget me. I just want him to come back to me. I want that my old little son again, who used to share a very special bond with me, I want that son of mine back, and for that I can pay anything. I would allow him to spend as much money as possible, but I only want him to come back to me. I would forgive him too, shaping from sorrow a new love. And the father even says that if my son comes back, I'd forgive him too. I'd forget everything, every bitter thing that has happened between us. I would forget everything, and from sorrow a new love will be shaped. He says that we would put behind everything, we'll put behind every bitter thought of ours, and from that sorrow a new shape of love will grow. We will again repair and mend our relationship, and we would again share the same bond which we used to have earlier. Now in the last stanza, what does he say? Father and son, we both must live on the same globe and the same land. Here the father says that father and son, we must live on the same globe and the same land. He means to say that we both, father and son, we should live together, and we should live on the same globe and the same land. Means we should be on the same wavelength. Means we should have the same mindset. Our thinking should be same. We should not have difference in opinion. Yes, there might be little bit difference in opinion, but this should not lead to any misunderstanding. So he means to say that we should have some understanding between us, and we should stay together. Not in any case should my son go away from me, and I love him so much that I want him back in my life as that earlier son which I used to have when he was a very young boy. He speaks, I cannot understand myself why anger grows from grief. Now the father says, he speaks, that is, he is talking about his son. He says that whenever his son speaks, I cannot understand myself. Whenever his son tells him something, speaks to him, he cannot understand that thing. It's actually due to generation gap, because many a times we, the people of the current generation, we tend to express our own views, our own feelings, but our parents or people from our previous generation, they sometimes fail to connect with us emotionally. Similarly, father says that my son speaks, I cannot understand myself, but what he speaks, what he tells to me, I cannot understand it myself, because he is talking about something else, and I am having a different opinion on that topic. That is why I get angry. He says, why anger grows from grief. And as I am not able to understand what my son is telling me, that is why I become angry as I am sad. You must have noticed that most of the times we become angry whenever we are sad. Suppose if we have had an argument with your friend and you have come back home, your mom calls you for lunch, you'd be annoying and you'd behave very roughly with your mother too, because you will be actually sad because of that quarrel with your friend, and that sadness, that sorrow, that grief will result into anger. So that is what the father wants to say. He says that I cannot understand what my son says, that is why I become sad, and out of the sorrow anger comes out, that is why I quarrel with my son. We each put out an empty hand, longing for something to forgive. The last two lines are very beautifully described. He says that we each put out an empty hand. He says that even though me and my son, both of us quarrel so much, we have a lot of misunderstandings, still somewhere from within, both of us want to connect to each other again. We want to have that same relationship again. That is why we extend our hands. It is not visible with empty eyes, but we can feel that both of us, we want that relationship, that former relationship again. That is why both of us extend our hands, longing for something to forgive, and both of us want forgiveness. Means father also extends his hand. That is actually not actually he is extending, but from within he extends his hand towards his son, and he also wants his son to extend his hands so that both of them can forgive each other and again build up a new relationship which they used to share earlier. So in this poem we see how a father feels when the bond which he used to share with his son tends to grow weaker as his son grows up, and how there develops a generation gap between him and his son. So I hope you were able to understand this poem. Still, if you have any doubts, please leave your questions in the comment section below. And for more such videos, stay tuned to English Gyan. Keep learning and keep sharing. Thank you.